my name is Giulia Silver, and today I'm going to be talking to you about my study investigating the effects of a teaching and learning intervention on women learning an engineering lesson. So my advisor was Dr. Celeste Hilgard, and this is for the Psych Honors cohort of 2022. So why an intervention for women in engineering? Well, typically women are underrepresented in the STEM fields. And sometimes this can lead to an effect where they do worse than their counterparts. So essentially, this is called the stereotype threat in education. And what can happen is that people can internalize negative beliefs about their in-group, which causes decreased performance. So essentially what this purports is that somebody who is a minority will enter a field where they are the minority, and they will compare themselves to other people, and they will feel this threat towards their intelligence, and then that will cause decreased performance. So this was first studied with African Americans in standard testing by Steele and Aronson in 1999. And essentially what they did was they framed the GRE as a test of intelligence. And when African Americans took this test and they were told that it was a test of their intelligence, they did worse than their white counterparts. However, when it was framed as just a problem-solving exam, then they did the same as their white counterparts. So this is called stereotype threat. And this is a problem because women in STEM can do worse than their male counterparts, and we want to alleviate that threat. So typically, interventions target negative beliefs about oneself rather than the actual learning of the material. So Sanchez and Weber in 2019 tried to alleviate this stereotype threat by using animated lessons, and this actually proved to be effective in reducing negative test performance due to stereotype threat. Similarly, Smith et al. In 2016 used the testing effect, which proved effective in alleviating the pressure of acute stress when memory was tested. So the testing effect refers to the fact that it's well known in education that when you retest your knowledge for an exam by restudying questions or coming up with questions and answers to the exam rather than just restudying your notes, you do better after a delay than when you just restudy your knowledge. So what we decided to do in this study is we tried to use the testing effect as a intervention to alleviate the negative effects of stereotype threat. So we hypothesized that one, participants in the retest condition would score higher than participants in the restudy condition. Two, participants in the threat condition would score lower than participants in the no threat condition. And three, participants in the retest condition that undergo threat would do better than participants in the restudy condition who undergo threat. So that was our hope, that the retest condition would alleviate the negative effects of stereotype threat. So on the first day, participants watched about a 4-minute video explaining how solar cells work, which was the engineering lesson, right? Then they were either randomly assigned to a condition where they rewatched the video, which was the restudy, or they did 2 practice questions, which was retesting their knowledge. Then they did a background check and they went through demographics. Finally, on the second day, they were either given an explicit threat message where they were told that men would do better on the test than females, or they were given no threat message where they were asked to give their genuine effort to show us whether the lesson was effective or not. Then they were given 5 transfer learning questions and 1 retention question, and they were all short answer. Finally, they did an attention check, a quality check, and debriefing. In the results, we found a significant main effect of stereotype threat in the retention question. However, we found no other main effects or interactions in the retention or transfer questions. So finally, we can deduce that stereotype threat is harmful to retention of material, but perhaps not as harmful to transfer as learning. However, there was a possible floor effect in the data as it was very skewed and there were very low scores in both the retention and transfer questions. Furthermore, the study was conducted solely online, although we wanted to do it in person, but due to COVID, we were not able to do so. Finally, there was low participant sign up as we wanted to have 300 participants, but we only ended up having 132 total participants after removal for attention, quality check, and initial analysis for outliers. In the future, it would be best to have a study with a more controlled environment, a revision of the transfer question rubric, and elimination of general knowledge questions. It is important to keep looking for ways to alleviate stereotype threat, as it is very dominant in STEM fields where women are underrepresented. Furthermore, it is dominant in other education fields where other minority groups are unrepresented. And as we found a significant main effect of stereotype threat in the retention question, it is very important to keep studying the stereotype threat and other ways to alleviate it.